Philadelphia 76ers select Charles Barkley of Auburn University.
Ooh. Actually, that style is back.
No, it ain't. That's so old, it's back.
Eddie Johnson barrels down the lane.
With the Army, didn't he?
Foul. They're going to score, though.
The Sacramento Kings select
Goodness gracious.
from North Carolina.
Still 10 on the shot clock. Kenny Smith.
What kind of pass was that?
He didn't catch that, man. Little Willis,
Come on, man.
Willis like,
You got two legends fired.
Reggie Miller of UCLA.
Oh, man, look at this.
Reg, I had that couch.
You still have that couch. I like that couch.
still have that couch.
Thing about that couch, you can waste a lot of food on it, nobody will notice.
Number 50, the Phoenix Suns select Steve Kerr, University of Arizona.
The 104 Suns.
The Miami Heat selects Steve Smith from Michigan State University.
Steve Smith is the two guard.
Comes down, lands, he's there, and then all of a sudden he just
How you get hurt?
trips over something. I don't know.
With the first pick in the 1992 NBA draft, the Orlando Magic selects Shaquille O'Neal from Louisiana State University.
Anderson, tough shot, forced it. O'Neal, an offensive rebound. Bangs free. Jordan.
That was Jordan.
1993 NBA draft, the Orlando Magic select Chris Webber.
Yeah, Shaq. That was me. That was me.
Shaq made the phone call 5 seconds later. No, we don't know.
Has traded the draft rights to Chris.
That's nervous. You know, you trying not to show your nervousness, but you showing it in every movement.
Here comes Weber in the open court. Weber.
Move, Kenny. Move, Kenny. I forgot I'm at work right now.
Some fond draft night memories and some of the lowlights of the careers of these seven. Hey, when you look around the room, Shaq, who do you think had the best pro debut, best NBA debut of the seven here?
I'm gonna have to go with Steve.
Why would you go with Steve?
His jumper looked nice. He was limited on his mistakes, and he looked good doing it.
Which Steve? Which Steve? Steve Kerr?
Steve Kerr.
Wrong Steve. It was Steve Smitty. Steve Smith made it look easy.
He even crossed his leg. That's a good
You know what?
You know what? He's in the Barca Lounger over here, making it look easy.
No, you know what? I'm looking at my research. They were down by 15. He was faking that injury because there was nobody next to you. Nobody next to you.
I got hurt playing defense.
You playing defense?
Yeah.
I
got hurt.
You actually had 24 in your NBA debut, and that was your season high for your rookie season.
Wow. None of y'all had 24?
I didn't
That's
start.
the most you had your rookie
Who
year?
did you
That's
play?
my worst.
Kenny, did you start?
Yeah, I started my rookie year.
But that was his first night in the
was with the
NBA,
Heat.
and that was his season high.
Yeah.
So did you think they were all going to be that easy?
I did, for sure, because I had the ball in my hand. But I was playing with Glenn Rice, so I had to get the ball up a little bit. And the black hole, Ronnie Cycling. But we
Way to throw him under the bus. Good job. Yeah.
Ronnie never threw the ball. Ronnie only had a career high of 3 assists. But it was, you know.
He loved Ronnie.
That's my guy, but he didn't pay.
Reggie,
one of those nights.
Yeah, Reggie, what was your welcome to the NBA moment that you knew you had arrived and you were here?
Well, I'm not necessarily thought I had arrived, but game one of preseason. This is a preseason game one. And obviously I was playing with Charles's Auburn teammate and Chuck Person, and he comes up to me before the game and is like, watch this little love tap I give to Dominique Wilkins. I didn't know they had beef the year before. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And I'm sitting on the bench because I'm a rookie. None of us really started. And as soon as the jump ball went up, Chuck went right up to Dominique and gave him a forearm right in the throat. The bench is clear. Everyone's getting up. And I'm standing on the sideline. And Herb Williams is next to me. I'm like, well, what should I do? He's like, Rookie, better get your behind out there and start fighting. That's how I knew I was part of the NBA. You had to, what you can't do now, you had to clear the benches and run out there and get Chuck's back. But you know how Chuck was.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no question.
He would give it to you.
How about it? I mean, you recall, preseason games being that intense?
Only one.
Your first season?
Only one. Like, there was a noticeable difference. Like the first couple games, we were screwing around. I was really nervous playing with Doc, Moses, Maurice Cheeks, Andrew Toney, Bobby Jones, and those guys. And the first 3 or 4 games were, you know, you're just trying to break a sweat and work on your stuff. And then we played the Boston Celtics. And you could just, I was like, wow, this is different. The locker room was quiet. And then a fight broke out during the game between Dr. J and Larry Bird. And it let me know, like, that was hatred between the Sixers and the Celtics. I mean, it was unbelievable intensity in a preseason game.
For all of you, I mean, when you reach this level, you're in the NBA. It's been a dream, I'm sure, when you're going to YMCA games at, you know, 8 o'clock in the morning and that kind of thing, and you're always thinking, boy, I'm playing the NBA someday. How does that feel when you finally realize that, Shaq?
Man, you know, for me, it was fun, you know, because I grew up watching all these old-timers on this panel, except for Chris, but, you know, it was fun. You know, I said to myself, I made it, but, you know, the funny thing for me is I didn't know the difference between preseason and the regular season. So when I first got to the Magic, I was playing all out preseason, and Scott said, hey, man, calm down, the season ain't started yet. What you mean the season ain't started? We 3-0, we first in the conference. Like, no, it's preseason. I'm like, preseason? What the hell is that? Yeah.
Ernie, I think it's a lot more nerve-wracking than people realize. Because what you did in high school, like, okay, all of us are the big men in high school. But then when you go to college, you back to zero. I mean, you go back to zero. And then it's even worse when you get to the pros. Because like I said, I didn't start. I was a number 5 pick in the draft, and I wasn't even really getting to play a lot in the beginning. But it's very nerve-wracking. And there's certain things that people take for granted. Like, number one, it's kind of like you're an alien. What I mean by it is they come and pick you one day and they drop you off in the city. So first thing you have to do is find a place to live.
Is Philadelphia bigger than Leeds?
just in that one little area. Ernie, you know what's something that's funny? You said that learning your way around these cities and trying to get there for practice in the morning or go out and get a meal.
Were you late a couple of times?
I was. Well, first of all, it took me a while because you're not getting paid. So they pick you up like the first week because you really go right into training camp. And then most places you go somewhere. So it was very nerve-wracking, and then when I finally got a car, you know, man, I just drove around trying to figure it out the first couple days, and it is hectic.
The biggest thing to me is there's two different things. There's when you first hit the playoffs, but then when you first actually be a rookie. Because all of us, when you're in college, if you have a good game, that means your team is pretty much either going to win in college or going to be close to winning, because you're dominating the game. I just remember my first time having a really good game in the NBA, and I'm looking up, and I got like 23 points going into halftime, and we're down 11 or 14 points. So the first time in your life that you couldn't really impose everything on the will of a game, and you go, wow, this is how great these players are, that you're not the imposing force no matter how great you're playing.
Steve, what was that first year like? You're playing for Cotton?
For Cotton Fitzsimmons.
Yeah.
You know, my experience was totally different than these guys because I was a, late 2nd round pick. I didn't know if I was going to make the league. I was on a non-guaranteed contract. And I'll never forget one of my first exhibition games, we played the Bulls. And I was just trying to make the roster. And Michael Jordan gets the ball right in front of our bench. And I'm already scared to death. Like, God, I hope I don't get into this game. I'm not ready for this stuff. And he holds the ball out. He holds the ball out, and he looks right at me. And I'm on the bench just kind of like, he holds the ball, and he goes, watch this. And he turns, and he went right around Dan Marley, bam, dunks it, looks back at our bench, and just starts laughing. And I'm looking like, there's no way in hell I can ever make the league.
Now I really don't want to.
I thought he looked at you and said, 10 years from now, I'm going to throw this to you.
Yeah.
Be ready.
I know I struggle, Ernie, I struggle with downtime. After practice, being in Miami, at 1 o'clock getting out of practice, and then you got a whole bunch of free time.
A lot of guys didn't struggle with the downtime.
I struggle. I really struggle.
Not on Washington, Collins, and Ocean, you wasn't struggling.
When I came to the NBA, being the #1 pick and coming behind Shaq, it was, it was pressure. So I wouldn't say I had the pressure of Steve saying, I might not make the team, but I have pressure of expectations and, what do my peers think of me? Not what do they think of me, what am I make them think of me, what is this and that. But I remember going to 2 games specifically, playing against a preseason game against Akeem, and I was nervous. I'm watching them, you know, I'm just, because I'm still a fan. I've never met any of these players. So my first game, I'm a fan of Akeem. He's, you know, I'm looking at his legs, looking at his tonics. I'm like, yeah, I had those shoes. I'm 2 years removed.
I say tonic shot.
You know, tonic. Everything about Akeem. And I remember I drove it down the lane, I spun it, I laid it up, and, you know, I made a little face. I'm so excited. I'm walking to halftime, he's like, nice move. Next time, give me a shoulder. And then the next time, Sean Kemp came and I traveled. Pump fake 3 times, and I came down the court. Sean was like, hey, relax, nobody's gonna block your dunk. There's athletes in here. You just relax, you take it up. And I was like, wow, the veterans, they're cool, because they'll knock you out coming to the hole, but they'll also give you a little bit of love. So my first year, I was a little in awe, but it helped a lot.